I love to take foods that you do outside on the grill and figure out a way to then encompass them into other recipes. So today I'm going to do smoked chicken breasts that we're going to then create a pesto pasta with. So stay with me here at Barbecue My Way. All right, I've got my grill set up with indirect heat. I've got a hickory log that separates the coals, and then I put some hickory chips on top of the hot coals as well. Let them flame down. Now I'm going to put 4 chicken breasts on the side of the grill that does not have direct contact with the heat. And this will be the smoking process. It'll be on there for about 20 or 30 minutes, and because of that I did get pretty heavy with the hickory chips because I don't have a lot of time to get the flavor into those chicken breasts, because as you know, breasts go dry pretty quick. So we're going to put those on. I did not season them at all. No salt, no pepper. My thinking is the pesto will add plenty of seasoning. The smoke is what we're looking for here. So now, put the lid on. I put the holes on the opposite side. The vents are open, so it'll be a little bit of a hot smoking process, but that's where we are. Be about 20 or 30 minutes. We'll be back to check them. All right, it's been about 30 minutes. We're going to start giving it the grill texture, nice and kind of golden from the smoking. So now we're going to move them directly over the coals. Now with the skin, these are going to they're going to flame pretty quick, particularly when I turn the skin side down. So you just have to stay with this and be ready to put the lid back on to kill the flame. Put the lid back on because it was starting to flame. And they're going to flame again here when I turn them. Putting the lid back on also keeps the cooking process a lot more consistent. Kind of like an oven. It heats it, warms it, cooks it from both sides. And there's the flames from the skin. We're going to move these around a little bit. And don't worry about the flames. Once you put the lid back on, the flames stop. And you'll have a bunch of smoke coming through the holes here in a second. And that shows that the flames have extinguished. There's all the smoke. So, be right back. Between the indirect with the lid on and then direct with lid on, we've done about a half an hour indirect and then about 15 minutes direct, and I flipped them once. So let's see what we got. Every fire has its own personality. These are looking really good. The skin will probably peel off, but I think the skin does a great job of keeping the moisture in. I'm going to give them about 5 to 7 more minutes with the lid on, and we're going to bring them in. All right, it's time to make the pesto. For that, I have drafted Liz, wife of Barbecue My Way. What are we doing, Lizzo?
Okay, we're chopping up some garlic. I was going to do 3 cloves, but my husband told me he wanted more garlic, so we're putting in 4. So we already took the skin off, except for that piece. That must have been the one Dave did. And we're chopping it up. You don't have to chop it up too finely because we're going to throw it in here with the basil. So just a rough chop.
How much
throw it in
basil?
Here. This was about probably a cup.
Fresh basil, of course.
Fresh basil.
Dry basil won't work.
You have to take the stems off. We just took these right off the stem. And we have a little food processor here that we placed it in. We're going to add some pine nuts.
I just toasted those over medium heat, just kind of stirring them for probably 5 minutes. And you have to watch them because they burn fast.
And then about half a teaspoon of salt.
She'll be adding more.
And
you kind of do this to taste.
Yeah, a drizzle of olive oil.
We'll be adding more of that too.
Yeah, we just start blending it and then we kind of figure out.
You already added the salt. What are you doing?
I don't put a little more. You said I needed to add more. All right, and then I'm just going to put a little pepper in it also. Alrighty. A little more olive oil, and then let's see how she looks.
Definitely need olive oil.
Definitely.
So this is a process where you're just, we'll show you what the consistency will be at the end. But, all right, this batch we're making is a very small batch. We usually have our own pasta in the summer, or I'm sorry, our own basil in the summer. There you go. You can also add Parmesan cheese and butter to it and freeze it for the winter. So think about growing some basil this year because it's awesome. All right, and then we're just going to cut up the chicken breasts after we pull them off the bone into bite-sized pieces. And we're going to use roughly 2.5 breasts for this, and it's going to feed five to six people. We've drained the pasta. It's a whole box of whole wheat fettuccine. And so we put a little olive oil down there. We're adding the pasta back. And we're going to about 2.5 for those big chicken breasts that have been smoked. They go in there. And then we have pesto.
Here on Kingsbury.
See how this all comes together?
It never drop.
Trust me, I will.
It's like gold.
And roughly a third of a stick of butter. I know that's a lot of food. And then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese to tighten it up, and we're going to stir it and serve it. Sorry, it took me a while to get it here. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to mix all this up, and when we're ready to serve, it'll be nice and the noodles will be moist, and you'll have that delicious fresh taste of pesto, smokiness of the chicken. It's going to be a feast. We'll be right back.
Grandma comes in town. Take her to Bucks.
Okay, we'll do. We went to the Green Door, Emily.
Have you ever been to Lulu's Cafe?
Emily has, I
It
haven't.
was really good. We tipped our waiter $15. He was the best waiter I've